Good morning, YouTube and X. It's your main man BTM here, bringing you back to the BTM Crypto News Network. Let's go. And we're talking about the Zebec uh, ecosystem spaces roadmap and app update, which happens at what is this? 10 o'clock. Currently, it is 9:51 a.m. Central Standard Time. What up, Silver Days? What up, Tony S? What's going on? Zebecians, what's going in? Zebec family. And we have the big announcement or the AMA coming up at 10 o'clock. So I wanted to rally the troops and get ready in case you're not on X. But as you can see, the current price of Zebec is back pumping. We are back up. We are back in business. Of course, the futters disappeared, Tony. I was going to do a video last night, but I got tired. Actually, I went to the gym and came back. And I was actually, I don't know, you know how you be sitting on the couch and you kind of doze off and you wake up and then you realize you dozed off? So I came back from the gym and I kept falling asleep. I was like, maybe we'll just cancel this meeting or cancel the live and wait till the morning. But I guess I could have, but I don't know. I just kind of felt weird. After I fell asleep and woke up, I didn't want to get on live and fall asleep on you guys. So Um, let's start the screen share and see what we can see. So this is the announcement starts at 10 a.m. It is 9:53. But if you look at the bubbles, once again, Zebec, ZBCN is the top dog. After all that mess, the futters were talking, all that craziness, all that you should have sold. Why did you sell? This, that, and the third. Looks like I've made my money back, so I'm not complaining, right? I'm not going to keep these guys um, keep bringing it back up, but I am up 35% today. That's a whole 35, almost $1,000 just today. So literally, if my math is correct, I've already made back 20% of actually probably 40% from what I bought on the dip. As I was telling you, I sold and bought lower, and I sold again and bought lower than lower. And then I got some additional on the end when it went down to like 25.00257 or something. And I wish I would have held on, but I made some money, so I ain't tripping. I'm not mad. And I was kind of worried. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was worried there for a minute because I was like, man, these futters are killing us. But as we know, you can't keep a good project down. And I wanted to just continue to hold and see where we got. So you see, we're back over 74,309. So literally, we picked up at least 310 holders from yesterday, which are probably the same 400 holders that left to begin with that didn't leave for FUD. These guys left like I told you they would, wait for the price to go down and buy back in as soon as it started pumping. So in the last 4 hours, we picked up 128. 12 hours, we picked up 218. The day we picked up 285. In the last 3 days, we picked up 247 holders, which is weird because these guys are talking about, oh no, this guy is falling. Zebec is over. Zebec was a scam. Well, it bounced back better than ever. We're up 34.9% in the last 24 hours. 1.95% in the last hour. And you can see here 35%. It was something I was looking for. I'm tripping. Come back here. Trying to wait for this to update. Up 36%. And I wanted to see buying activity for whales and dolphins. And I think I'm actually wait, 10K more. Am I a whale? Am I a whale? No, it doesn't tell you the amount. It just tells you by date. That's the wrong way. What does remove? Anybody know what remove means? Looking for buying. Why is this only showing me removed? Let's look for buy only. I don't know what remove means. The last well activity was yesterday. What is this? Yesterday at 11 o'clock, a whale bought 11K. Okay, make sure. 14K, 41. This might have been what turned the tide. This guy yesterday at 152. I guess that's AM. I don't know, but this guy bought 15 mil won, 15.3 mil won to be exact. 3 million, 6.3, 4.3, all of this. Actually, I'm tripping. This was, yeah, yesterday. This guy bought 5.8 mil won, and this guy bought 7.4 mil won. Collectively, 24, 25, maybe 26, give or take 26 million. Let's see if we can add in the Dolphins. See what we got here. Yeah, these guys was buying like, actually, people are buying a day. One's in ninth. Somebody bought 1.1 mil won, 1.1 mil won, a million, a million, 1.8 million. And the crazy thing is during the dip, get over a million. I didn't even spend $3,000. And people are weird. Wager. What are we wagering? Peter, what's going on, brother? Welcome back, Zebec family. I wonder what they're going to talk about. Put in the chat if you have any ideas. So let me double check here. Looks like we're about to go. Looks like we're about to go live. Let me close this because it takes a lot of resource. You can see here we're pushing up on the 1 hour chart. Looks like we're gonna pass the 0035 if my fibs are halfway correct, which they probably aren't. But it's a good demonstration. Looks like the hour 5-minute chart we're pushing up. Let me check the 45-minute chart. Pushing up, RSI is crazy. I've never seen RSI this high actually. I've never seen it over 70. This is at 81. Actually, I've seen like 75, but I've never seen it in the 80s, right? This is crazy high. Why is this not? Okay, there we go. So you can see here, MACD cross, we are exploding in volume and RSI is up. All right, let's check to see. Oh, we're already live. Tripping.
Good morning. Mic check, mic check.
Yo, Ben, I can hear you loud and clear.
Lovely. I'm very well, JJ. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Can't complain. It's Wednesday, sunny here. Yourself.
The weather is sensational here in the UK, I must say. So good vibes all around. We've got some good news. We've got a great show up today, and it's good to be back. Good to be back. I'm looking forward to catching with the team. Hey, Simon, how are you?
Hey, Ben, I'm doing very well. And you are absolutely right. What a stunning day it is here in the UK today.
Beautiful.
Let me know if you
I
guys can
also
hear.
hear it was very, very nice in Cannes. I'm looking forward to hearing all about that. How was your week?
Absolutely. We had an incredible week down there. A lot of the team was out there. We hosted a beautiful event with some of our top partners at the ECC conference. So there will be some photos and recap of that event coming out later this week.
Fantastic. I know we're waiting for a couple of others to come up, but to begin with, I'm going to kind of chat with you. So I wonder if we maybe give it another minute and then get going.
Let's give it another minute. We have a few joiners from the Zebec side that will be speaking today alongside myself. So I want to make sure that everyone is on and their mic is working.
Yeah, I'm also really excited because Sam's going to be joining us today as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, really good. It's great to have him up. I know a lot of the community will appreciate that, and having chatted with him yesterday, I know he's really looking forward to addressing the community as well. So great stuff. Oof. Right. I'm going to kick things off just myself for a moment. So I just want to welcome everybody to another Zebec ecosystem spaces. We're going to talk a bit more about the roadmap and the super app updates, which is really exciting. I guess, like, personally, I also just want to say, like, how grateful I am that you guys keep inviting me back to host you guys. It's very rare that you get a project the size of Zebec that's building out like a true ecosystem the way you are, that is so committed to being really, really transparent and really, really consistently communicating with its community. So thank you for having me back again. My name's Ben White, for those that don't know me. I'm a Spaces host and marketing consultant, do all kinds of other things, but recently I've been really, really fortunate enough to be working with Simon and the team at Zebec on all kinds of comms and things like that. And it's been great fun, and I'm a huge fan of what they're building. So looking forward to updating you all today. Very quick framing for you all. Like, the point of today's spaces is about transparency, roadmap updates, community dialogue, and then we can get back into our like weekly cadence of interesting spaces about different topics and things that are going on in the broader Web3 and DeFi space. So I think we're all in now. So Simon, I'm going to jump straight into it. Actually, I'm going to jump straight onto you and ask you a question just to get us kicked off, right? And I guess I want to touch a little bit on what I was just talking about. Like, Zebec is building out something huge, right? It's a big ecosystem that you guys are building, and you're putting all of the parts together. I wondered if you could just take some time before we get into all of our broader questions, just to talk to me about what it takes from a team, from a leadership group, like what it takes to build out a financial ecosystem like this.
It's a good point, Ben. And look, we've been doing this for years at Zebec, and we're building financial products that are supposed to form the basis of a new financial ecosystem. This takes a lot of time and a lot of skill and resources to deliver properly. You need to remember that Zebec is not a quick DeFi play from 2021. We are in the early stages of trying to reinvent an $11 trillion industry. So do keep in mind, we've been doing this for only a few years versus players like Ripple that have had a decade head start. I like to think we've achieved a lot in a very short period of time. And remember, a lot of the work that we're doing right now involves putting together the strategic puzzle pieces needed to lay the groundwork for the future financial ecosystem that Zebec is building. So when I refer to these puzzle pieces, what am I talking about? Well, for one, our partnerships, which we're going to dive deep into later in this spaces. But our partnerships are with leading infrastructure providers across crypto as well as TradFi. Companies like JP Morgan, MasterCard, Solana, Stellar, and of course, Circle. We'll speak more on these later. The second puzzle piece is what I would call our acquisition strategy. So we've made 4 acquisitions in our short history as a company. Of course, PayBridge and School Payroll Services, which we did a deep dive on last month on our payroll spaces. And most recently, the acquisitions of GateKnox and ScienceCard, 2 leading technology firms here in Europe. And then the third pillar is our strategic hires and advisors. So we brought a number of new members onto the core team, mostly focused on engineering and product, as that is our number one priority as a company right now. We have Stelios Gerogianakis joining us from the London Stock Exchange, and he'll be contributing later on today in the spaces. And then, of course, our top tier advisors from TradFi, Payroll, and government. We, of course, have multiple members of the ADP former C-suite on our board of directors. They are core to our long-term thesis in the payroll space. We have Wojtek, of course, who led GateKnox for many years and is our head of compliance and will be leading our SOC 2 and ISO initiatives. And most recently, we have Mr. Mark Turkington, who is the leader of transaction monitoring at HSBC, of course, one of the world's largest investment banks and wealth managers, who is also joining our advisory team. So going back to my point earlier, we are in a multi-year process here of building the future of finance. And of course, you can't do it without great people.
I love that. And I think it, you know, laying that context out more broadly and really like referring it to it as that big puzzle, I think it's really, really important because it re-emphasizes here the amount of work that actually goes into building an ecosystem like this. And I guess one of the other things I'm super curious about now, having got to hung out with you a few times, and I see you juggling and spinning these plates, it's very impressive. I guess, can you just tell me a little bit about, like, alongside building infrastructure like this, putting the technical pieces together, what other inroads you're making when it comes to bridging DeFi with like the institution that is kind of traditional finance?
Well, alongside all the great building we're doing, we're also working on essentially rewriting the rules of modern finance. And it's absolutely critical to have major institutions and governments on your side. Tomorrow, myself and Neil Padier, who leads our M&A group at Zebec, will be speaking in the UK's House of Parliament. We're invited by the Baroness Susan Kramer in support of UK Whistleblowers Week, and we'll be speaking alongside policymakers, legal experts, other members of government in tomorrow's session on tech, AI, and ethics, which starts at 12:30 p.m. UK time. Unfortunately, it's not a televised session, but we will have a recap and hopefully many good photos and videos from the session to share with our community. So to make inroads in any market, you need to develop relationships with leaders and policymakers. We focused a lot on the US market over the years, which of course is still our core market at Zebec. But with our global expansion now to the UK and Europe, we will be making further announcements this month as notable political figures join our advisory board. So do stay tuned for that. And as I mentioned in the first part, we've been very focused on these so-called puzzle pieces needed to execute on our ambitions. And we do have major plans this fall for a move in the London capital market. So a lot of exciting things happening on this side of the pond.
Awesome. Absolutely love it. And congrats, dude. Like, how's it like going into House of Parliament to speak and give, you know, essentially kind of like to advise the government on how to approach these things is no mean feat. Like, that is an incredible opportunity for you and for the Zebec team. I'm absolutely stoked for you. So
especially for a company really of our, you know, of our short history, right? To already be in this level of government.
Are you all prepared? Are you ready to go?
Oh, we are more than prepared. We're extremely excited, and we're actually very honored to have this opportunity to even begin with.
100%. Well, congrats, man. I cannot wait to see that content. It sounds fantastic. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Okay, I want to jump into the next part. So that's like a nice introduction. Thank you so much for giving me an update on, and the audience an update on where we're at. I think it would be great now if we could just deep dive a little bit into the product roadmap. Obviously, you laid out this real like roadmap in terms of where we're going with Zebec, and now here we are in July. Like, you blink, and 7 months of the year have passed. So it'd be great, I think, if we can, to dig into a little bit about like what has actually been delivered versus what was, you know, hoped to be delivered. What's coming next? And how the roadmap is progressing. So I wondered if you want to touch on roadmap, super app vision, and then perhaps introduce some of our additional speakers. Now, I know we're also hoping Kian's going to come up, and I can see he's having trouble being able to stay up. So Kian, if you can hear me, one of the things that might be worth doing is just closing your app altogether and then coming back in and having another go. But Simon, do you want to just give us
Kian a second to reconnect? As I do think it's
exactly
important for Kian and Stelios to speak to their phenomenal achievements on our roadmap this year. But what's most exciting to me is, of course, the Super App, which is in production right now. And we spoke about the Super App on a few of our earlier spaces. And the vision for this app is really to build a Web3 native consumer financial management application that brings together payroll streams, card products, token wallets, and an integrated on and off ramp all in a single mobile app. Think of it as a Web3 based Revolut, but on steroids. Nothing like this has ever been built before, and there's no company that I believe is better positioned than Zebec to deliver on a product like this. So I'd love to turn it over to Kian and Stelios, our engineering lead and head of the Zebec Super App Initiative.
Yeah, I think initially we're going to have to do that with Stelios. So I can see you up here, Stelios. Can we get a mic check on you, sir?
Yeah, testing. 1, 2,
Testing,
1, 2.
testing. I can hear you perfectly.
Great.
Stelios, why don't you introduce yourself? Because you come with an incredible background. Would love to know a little bit more about you and your background and what you're bringing to Zebec before I get into some of these questions. And hopefully we can bring up Kian in the background.
Yeah, excited actually to be joining Zebec and be part of the journey. As a brief introduction, before joining Zebec, I was a principal engineer in London Stock Exchange Group in data and analytics division. And before that, worked for a year with Ignite. Most people know it as Tendermint, as senior engineering manager in the Atom Cosmos ecosystem. And before that, 2.5 years helped Go Cardless payment scale up process over $1 billion a month in direct debit payments. If someone's in the UK, you've probably interacted with them. And also helped RBS, working there for 4.5 years, launch their open banking APIs. But I'm not here to speak about myself, but rather about the Super App. So
yeah, absolutely. And love that, by the way. Thank you so much. I mean, it sounds like you've got an incredible TradFi background, which is amazing, and really excited to see now how you want to come. Like, I was speaking earlier to another member of the team, and we were talking about this notion that, like, there are a lot of projects and protocols and people out there who are creating stuff who are really kind of like just full of hot air about what it is they're trying to do, and not necessarily talking about how they're trying to marry up really what users want or need at the moment from a decentralized finance platform like Zebec. And I think it's really exciting that you come with so much knowledge and experience in terms of what does and doesn't work from a TradFi perspective, but that you're all in on DeFi. And I think that's amazing. I think it's a really, really bold step. And I'd love to get into that a little bit more with you. I think we're not going to have Kian up, it looks like. So that's a shame. We can bring him up a bit later on. So Simon, I'm just going to brief you to kind of like be ready to step in a little bit. But Stelios, I'm going to ask a little bit then about, you know, perhaps a few questions about the Super App and some of the rest of the roadmap, like particularly like in terms of our pacing. Like we're past halfway through 2025 now, and I know you come in at this point. Like, how are we pacing versus the roadmap that we projected before we then get into what the Super App is all about and what it will provide? And Simon, feel free to jump in at any point during that.
yeah, so far we have been delivering ahead of what has been promised. For example, staking. And now I will go back to what Simon said, which is the puzzle pieces, which is a great metaphor, because the pieces of the Super App have been there. Credit cards, staking, payroll, and what we are doing now with the Super App is bringing everything under one roof while building a solid foundation. So we're starting with a web interface accessible from a browser, and a little bit later, because it's a bit more involved, we're going to also roll out the mobile application. And we will not just stop there. We've launched one and we're done. This is a journey because there multiple payment rails, multiple integrations, multiple chains, and we will continue to be rolling out features and integrations.
Amazing. I mean, the super app sounds really, really exciting. All apps under one umbrella, a real focus on user experience. I know when we were speaking with Wojtek a few weeks ago, and we were talking about compliance, his number one focus when it comes to like getting compliance right is to focus on the user experience, because that's what makes or breaks someone wanting to actually go through the compliance process. So what's it been like, building or specking out what that super app's going to look like, and what else can we expect in Q3 or Q4 this year?
So building it up is because the pieces have already been there and there's already been real use and volume moving through the system. I don't know, I think it was you that mentioned this is not hot air. There's already been use on the sites, and we've already seen, like, for example, what are the pain points? And on the other side, conversely, what are the opportunities with regards to growth? So we're bringing this in with in terms of requirements to basically spec out features, iron out problems, and bring this out as a seamless experience. It's not going to be, of course, like perfect on the first go. Nothing is, but the goal is here to have a nice, great, usable app that will allow us to onboard masses and masses of people and grow the community, and also do it in a safe, compliant way.
Love that, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like. I'm sure, as you say, it will be something that iterates, and there are many versions of, but I think bringing everything together under one umbrella is a really, really exciting prospect when you think about all of the different puzzle pieces, to use Simon's analogy. I think that's awesome. Okay, little nerdy question then from me, as someone who really enjoys like the technically challenging things. Like, what from a tech perspective, Stelios, what has been really challenging to kind of like to nail down when it comes to building the super app, or what's been the most impressive to kind of manage? What's been the most exciting part of this process so far?
Well, I don't know. The exciting parts are also the boring parts, if you like. Like, because we are handling people's money, and the exciting part is also the boring part. Like, you want to be able to handle all transactions, have many nines of uptime, not just have flashy features, but make sure that every person that onboards the application, they get their money on the other side. So this is basically the most challenging bit and also the most exciting bit. We are handling people's money, which is important.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think people should take a lot of comfort in knowing that what excites us the most is doing this, doing the boring things, because they're the most important things. You're absolutely right. Simon, I wondered if you wanted to kind of, I guess, come in and then touch on a little bit more about what you think the super app provides the community at large, but also like potential new users as well to Zebec. Like, what is it that you're trying to deliver here by building this hub out?
Well, the super app is going to be the ultimate way for Zebec to attract retail users at a mass scale. When you think about it, right? It brings all of these great tools that we built into a seamless, consumer-friendly mobile application that people will use to manage their payroll, manage their cards, and really get more familiar with crypto in general. So we're very excited to be rolling it out later this year, and we're going to be tracking really closely metrics on usage. As building great product is one thing, but having that product used in the real world is a whole different story. And at Zebec, we're extremely proud of the metrics that we've achieved this year. Hundreds of clients are using us for our payroll tools. We've done over 100 card white label opportunities this year. And we're seeing the volumes grow month over month. So with the super app, we can expect these numbers to grow even further.
Love it. Love it. Very excited. Can't wait to get involved with it. As a user of Zebec myself, I think it will be really exciting. So Stelios, thank you so much for coming up and joining us there. We look forward to bringing you back to talk more technically about some of these things as you get closer to rolling them out. But it's great to meet you and great to have someone of your experience come and join us. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. Simon, we are, 20 minutes into what we think will be about 45-minute session. So we've got 25 minutes left. I think that's probably good time now to jump into some of the community Q&A stuff. I know we put some messages out there to try and kind of curate a list of questions. I see JJ has presented me with those questions, which is great.
So JJ has gone out and spoken with a few members of the community, has organized some of the priority questions that they'd like the team to address, and that is exactly what we're going to do now in the end of the spaces.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go through them in order. I've got a few here. Haven't read these yet, so I'm going to familiarize myself now. Okay, right. What can you tell us? This is to Simon. Or give us to confirm partnerships with Kotapay, JPM, Bank of America. These are all really exciting names as well, Simon. So, like, how are those things going at the moment?
So these companies have all been partners of Zebec and PGP for multiple years now, and they are core to the processing of payroll for our enterprise clients, of course, alongside Circle for on and off-ramp functionality. So this is not new news. These are companies that we've been working with for years now, and we plan to continue to work with and expand our relationship going forward.
Love it. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, another one for you, Simon. Does Zebec intend on opening the door to other stable coins, such as FIUSD, RLUSD, JPMD, etc.? Where are we at with that? Because no doubt about it, right? The stable coin narrative is one that has really kind of like pushed on now. Like it seems to really be kind of setting a light. Like what's Zebec's kind of like stance on it?
Well, you need to remember that Zebec is the original provider of stablecoin payroll. So all of this great regulatory progress on stablecoins in the US is extremely bullish for us and what we're building. Circle is an early investor in Zebec and a longtime partner, as I mentioned in our last spaces. USDC is core to all of our products. It's core to our ecosystem. It's core to our payroll. And we're not going to be giving up on USDC. It is always going to be there. That being said, there are other stable coins that are coming into the market now, which we are evaluating, potentially working with. In fact, the RLUSD, so the Ripple stablecoin, we've actually integrated it on our Silver card. And of course, we've been in talks with Ripple for the past few months on a product launch, which we're working on with them as well. And more will be revealed on that when we are ready.
Okay, awesome. So we're down the line with a lot of that, and obviously, as you say, we're kind of the original payroll provider when it comes to stables. So yeah, really exciting. Great answer. Thank you so much for that. Sam, welcome. Mic check.
Hey. Thank you, Ben, Ben and Simon's like answering amazing questions. I'm just like wondering how many questions are left, because
we've got a couple left. I've
because-
got one that I've got one that I've seen here that I really would like you to answer, actually. And I think the reason I'd like you to answer it is because obviously, like, all of this is the brainchild of you and the team here, and putting, like, spinning it into reality is. I spoke to Simon at the top of the call and said, I'm really interested to know what it means to you to put something together like this. And I think, you must sit back now a few years in and be really proud of the progress that you and the team have been making. I guess, how often do you remind yourself, and could you go into a bit of detail about like what you think is now really special about Zebec's tech stack?
So I think like right now Solana is such a hot technology, right? And everyone thinks that everything was obvious, right? Like how easy it is to write smart contract, like how easy it is to audit, right? How easy the wallets were. When we were building, right, on Solana, there was Solid wallet, right, that was built by FTX, and sometimes the token that you have in your wallet would not be visible because their RPC was not working properly. So right now, everyone builds on like Anchor framework, which is, makes doing formal testing and building smart contracts so easy. When we were building, Anchor framework was just coming along. there were like less than 50 teams. I would say like 30-ish team that was actually writing smart contract. The Solana's builder group chat had like less than 100 people in, and like Anatoly and Raj used to like actively post in there, and there were less than 3 companies that could properly audit smart contract. In fact, like it was so hard to write smart contract on Solana that we actually hired like auditors to actually write contracts because that was the only safe way to do it. So our early devs were actually all auditors. Uh, so that's how we got started. And what it means that is like it has the fun part about being the first one to do things is you have a chance of actually battle testing your smart contract over the years. You audit multiple times. In fact, we have spent almost millions of dollars auditing it, which is more than what a lot of people actually raise capital, right? We have spent more money on auditing our smart contract than what most people have raised money on. So what also means is now it gives us ability to focus on things that really matters. Because what happens in crypto and Web3 in general is people will build things, they will kind of throw it out there to the small group of Web3 user, which is like 100-ish thousand of people. And you have this giant musical chair of capital flowing from protocol A to protocol B to protocol C, but you don't grow the pie. And we have taken a much more different approach is let's battle test the smart contracts, let's build something that is stable, right? And then go where it actually means, and where the users are actually there. So it means like going out there, have a proper compliance framework built in, right? So that's kind of this like secret sauce of Zebec is like you have been out there for such a long time. You have spent such a long time plus effort plus capital on battle testing the product. Now you get to spend a substantial amount of resource to get it compliant, get licenses, and most importantly, being able to make the user experience so easy that at some point in the future, we expect that like Zebec will power applications that makes users not even, like the crypto aspect of Zebec and Web3 should be completely hidden from users. And I think that's the path that we're headed to. And I think that's kind of the secret sauce of Zebec.
Yeah, I love that. And what's great is that like to hear you say that and to know that then every single person I ever speak to that now works with, for, advises, etc. with Zebec says the same thing. Like the focus is always about the user experience. It's about building something that users will intuitively want and know how to use. And I think that's what's really, really exciting here. And as you say, like the amount of energy and finance that you've put into building, rebuilding, auditing all of those smart contracts to make this work is really, really exciting. So thank you for that. I've got another one for you in a minute, Sam, but first I've got another one for you, Simon. We obviously had Wojtek up, who was the founder of GateKnox, which is the obviously the business that's been recently acquired by Zebec, and he's come in to advise and consult and to lead the charge when it comes to compliance. Any updates or any kind of like timeline for things? What are we talking about here? There was SOC 2. I remember he spoke about that one. There's ISO 2022. There's possible, I don't know how to pronounce this, MICA compliant. There's all kinds of things that I think are really important. Where are we at with all of that?
We are extremely fortunate to have Wojtek now leading our compliance vertical. He's been with us for the past month since we closed our acquisition of GateKnox, the compliance suite in early June. And Wojtek and our team have been incredibly busy with SOC 2 compliance, which is really the first step in moving towards full ISO certification, which is still our goal towards the end of the year. And SOC 2, for those who do not know, is the gold standard in corporate compliance and privacy, which is very important for a company like Zebec that manages customer data and customer funds. So our goal is to have SOC 2 compliance complete by the end of July, and we are on track to do that. And then on the MICA topic, given that we do operate now in the UK and Europe, we are in the process of finalizing MICA compliance with regulators. We have completed our MICA white paper. It is under review with multiple regulatory bodies, and we are hoping to receive the green light on that at some point this year.
Love that. I can see
Wojtek
is up on stage.
Yes.
Yeah. How you doing, Wojtek?
Hey guys.
Hey Ben, how are you? Hey
Very,
Simon,
very
thanks for
well,
having me
sir.
back here.
It's always my pleasure to have you back here, Wojtek. Do you
Nice
want to just?
hearing this. Yeah. I wanted because this question is actually quite interesting. So I wanted to address it maybe in a slightly different. I mean, the question about SOC 2 and why SOC 2.
Sure.
And the answer is fairly simple if you think about this in two aspects. So the ISO brings us to transferring valuable content, which consists of highly detailed digital information. It's not just money, it's also invoice details, tax information, and so on and so forth. So if you think about this as a content, you can think about SOC as a secure container. So SOC addresses security in Zebec systems, in processes and procedures. So thinking about this from a perspective of having the content delivered that has huge value, you want customer data to be secure. And to prove the security, we decided to go with SOC 2 certification, which is a standard for the US market. It's becoming more and more recognizable in Europe as well. That is essentially proving that the Zebec infrastructure processes and procedures can maintain the customer information in a secure manner.
Love it. All very, very important. And you're happy with progress, Wojtek? You trucking along? We're feeling good about getting this over the line in 2025.
Oh, definitely. We're getting good progress. Obviously, there are always some surprises, and we probably are gonna have few more when the audit starts. That's the key thing also that has been mentioned last time that we spoke by uh, Nick, as far as I remember, that
Yeah.
stock has this unique value of actually not being only the framework, but to get certified, you need to go through the quite rigorous audit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, thank you so much for coming up again. We're going to
Thanks.
drag you up here regularly to give us updates on this because I know how important it is to what Zebec's mission is. So, but really appreciate you taking the time today. Thanks for coming up and great to see you.
I'm always happy to join. Thanks, guys.
Love it. I have another one for Sam. This is an interesting one. So obviously there was the Nautilus chain sale, and I think a few people within the community have just said like, why did that happen? What went down there when it came to the Nautilus chain sale?
So I think there's like a interesting thing you want to look into, right? Payroll itself is like it's such a big market. I mean, if you want to cut and dice it like in many times, you will still have multi-billion-dollar market. And what does that mean is you need absolute focus because in last, I would say, year or so, we have kind of seen the regulatory pathway open up for stablecoin and stablecoin related payments 10 times more, right? So what this means is Zebec was one of the projects, like one of the several projects incubated by Zebec, right? We had actually we have multiple other projects that we tried to, because our ultimate goal is how can we push stablecoin payments and how can we get, stablecoin payroll out, right? So what really it meant for us was uh, we have to go back to focus on payroll, right? And another thing we also came to realization was we support almost 10 chains, right? And they're all tier one chains. In fact, 95% of all Web3 users are in those 10 chains. I think focusing to get those, right, and lock in this payroll opportunity completely for Zebec is much more important, right, than expanding in any other fronts. Like think of this as like a battlefield, right? And the idea is who takes whose flank, right? And right now we are in that crux of this stablecoin payroll battle. Whoever takes the flank, after that the opportunity just cascades down for them. They complete whoever captures it on either side is able to get it completely. And we believe stablecoin payroll is the most important thing. Whoever wins this, right, wins the entire internet capital market game for whatever the opportunity that lies with crypto, because we believe this whole things about trading and all the other stuff is rather of like a short-term phenomenon, right? Over the long run, the the one who decides how you get paid and the one who is enabling that is able to go down the hierarchy and vertically capture the entire market, right? So for us, focusing on that, is much more noble and much more important goal. So hence we had to exit from that.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, you can't get more transparent than that, right? It's about focus. It's about making sure that we keep our eye on the biggest prize of all and set the business up in a manner that really goes after that. And I think that's incredible. Like, what kind of size market is that, Sam? Like, what are you guys you're looking at here from a let's just talk in payroll terms. I know you've mentioned, I think I've heard various numbers before, but in your mind, like, what kind of size market is that at the moment in terms of value?
So the way we look into this is, right, everyone, in fact, like I would say 90% of all the capital that exists in the world is some sort of payroll, right? It's like almost $11 trillion in payroll volume a year, right? It means at any time, right, payroll float is in, like, not in billions, not in hundred of billions, it's actually almost in $1 trillion range. So whoever captures this captures everything else. Like nothing really matters, if you are able to capture the payroll industry itself, because
Yeah.
it opens up opportunity on being able to be the one who enables card, the way you spend the money, the way the money that you're spending is, i.e., like what stable coin that is being spent on, right? Everything that connects to the user, you are the one who is able to vertically integrate that. So it's a
That's
it's a
wild.
very, very big number. In fact, like, it kind of like amazes us to even think about that. Like, it's like, hey, it's like much higher,
It was a bit
much higher number than entire crypto market combined.
right. It was a bit why I was kind of a bit nervous to say it, because I was like, is that real? But $11 trillion, like, as an overall kind of payroll piece. And then you're absolutely right, right? Whoever is able to capture that then has the dialogue and the ability to create vertical products and services that complement it. And you're in the best position to be able to do so. I think it's such an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sam. Really appreciate it. Simon, I got two left, both of them for you. So, first one is, what companies currently utilize Zebec Payroll? We've read about the $500 million in volume. How is that derived?
It's a great question, and I encourage everyone who was not on our spaces in early May to listen to our payroll spaces, where we brought on Tony Chavals, who runs Paybridge, which is one of the businesses that Zebec and PGP acquired 2 years ago now. And we spoke on that spaces about the fact that we serve over 200 enterprise clients in just the payroll side. And of those 200, you can break them down into a number of different verticals. For example, we serve over 18 charter schools in the US. We serve 4 manufacturing businesses. We serve 6 logistic companies. The list goes on. And these companies are using us for payroll as well as our pay card for employee incentives and payroll advances. We have a very active sales team that is actively adding new clients each month. And I would say that new payroll acquisitions are definitely not off the table either. So a few more of those may be coming as well, which will further boost our client base.
Awesome. Love to see it. Love to hear that there are more clients coming to the books. It's very, very exciting. Okay, last one here, and this is just a bit of a silly one. So, but we wanted to include it. Robbie Mitchnick from BlackRock. Understand that you guys know one another. What's the deal there? How does that work?
Well, this is definitely an interesting and unexpected question.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw a left field one in there.
No, I love it. I mean, Robbie's actually a classmate of mine, or was a classmate of mine, and a personal friend as well. We've known each other for over 10 years. As a fellow, what I would call big picture thinker, we both entered crypto years ago, while many of our friends and classmates in university took jobs on Wall Street and other areas of TradFi. I mean, both of us actually did start in TradFi before we made the jump to crypto. And it's really good to see him now leading the Web3 efforts at the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock.
Awesome. Love that. Sorry to throw a bit of a rogue one in there.
It's
JJ and I
fun.
were
It's
laughing about it.
always fun to get some curveballs. So
Okay, well, look, I think we are. Yeah, we're pretty much there. Like, I don't know, maybe just time for a very quick summary, Simon, and then we can leave. We can finish up.
Great. Well, look, I think we had fantastic turnout today. I know we missed a week of spaces, of course. We were very busy at the conference and con. But as you mentioned earlier, Ben, it's great to get back to the weekly cadence. We have some really good spaces planned for this month, which we'll be announcing soon with some very big partners joining as well. So everyone keep an eye on our Twitter. And yes, we'll have some updates from the UK Parliament tomorrow after Neil and I have completed our speaking session over there, and we'll be sharing that with the community too.
Love that. What time is that tomorrow? Like, what time are you going in?
Our session starts at 12:30 p.m. UK time.
Love it.
So we will be there for most of the day. Very exciting.
I'm really, really stoked for you, man. I can't wait to hear all about it. Make sure that you capture as much content as possible. Look forward to seeing it out there. Okay, well, look, that is a pretty comprehensive roundup. Let's get everyone back on the same level playing field here in terms of where we're going and what we're doing. As Simon says, looking forward to hosting some more spaces this month and going into August also, really focusing on different exciting aspects and elements within the Web3 and DeFi space. I want to thank Sam for coming up. Really good to see you, Sam. Really appreciate you doing it. Come back, chat with us more often.
Of course, of course.
Totally appreciate how busy you are, though. But great, thank you for taking time out of your day. Also, Stelios, welcome. Really, really exciting to see someone with such an incredible TradFi background come in and join the charge. Really, really excited to see what you are doing there, and really, really excited to see how that super app starts to come together. And we should absolutely, when there's a bit more to talk about, we should come up and talk about it again. So thank you and welcome. And then to you, Simon, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time like you do to answer all of these questions. I'm looking forward to focusing now on some other bits within the Web3 and DeFi space. And then that just leaves me to say thank you to everyone for coming out and joining us today. Really appreciate such a huge turnout. Yeah, great stuff. JJ, when you are ready, sir, let's finish up and say goodbye.
Yep. So again, thank you guys for showing up on a Wednesday in the middle of the day. And then obviously thank you to all of our speakers. Ben for hosting as always. Really appreciate your work. And yeah, until next time, again, stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to be at the Parliament at the House of Lords. So we'll bring you guys a couple more updates between tomorrow and Friday as well. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, that's it.
So, from the meeting, let me know what you guys pulled back about the Zebec call. I did get they're working on the SOX compliance part. They're working on that Ripple stable coin. So I guess the partnership is going. I didn't get the question. Somebody said it was a good question. And there's something coming down with crypto. So let me know what you guys got and give me 1 second. So let me see real quick. Let me see. So let's see what we have here. Simon confirmed the BlackRock friend he had went to school with him. His first name was Brad. What was his last name? Worked at BlackRock. That is a good question. Why is there no sound here? I'm tripping. Okay, I'm tripping. Sorry about that. Yeah, but no worries. I'm trying to multitask and then go so well. But yeah, I think there is going to be more price action. Looks like it's coming down a little bit. Currently, it's 74,324 holders. So that holder count took off from yesterday, which is weird because actually, let me refresh this. Currently, it is up 14.2% on the day to 0027. It says 00336. So I guess this is slightly behind. Why is this not updating? That's weird. Hello. So currently, we are um 74,371. You can see the green candles. You can see here we're going back up. Last 4 hours, we got 175 holders. Last 12 hours, 254. Last day, 347. Last 3 days, 316. And if you notice, as we get holders, it's trickling down. So the 7-day number will probably go up as well. But I do think there was lots of really interesting information on the lots of good information on the AMA, and I'm glad you guys tuned in. And I'm actually shocked of the super app they're working on and the super app integration. And I wanted to ask them about stats, but I guess they didn't have an open call. But I might swing back with these guys to see. And wow, 56,000 people tuned in. That's what I'm talking about. But these guys are saying uh, nobody's interested in Zebec. So almost 56,000 people tuned in, and Zebec currently has 74,000 holders. What's half of that? 30 something, 35, 40. More than half of the entire amount of the Zebec um holders tuned into the meeting, which is a really good sign that there's a lot of positive momentum in the project. Bro, more than half of the holders tuned in for the AMA. So people are definitely interested. Let's check to see real quick if there's any new updates. And I guess we'll return to our regular call. What is that? 3:30. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, 3:30, 4 o'clock. Haven't decided yet, but just going through and making sure everything is going okay, and we didn't miss anything. Is that today? Why is Grunk on? Was weird. Today is the 9th. Is this from today? It is from today. Actually, right after the call. So yeah, let me see what we can see. If there's any major updates. If not, actually, let me go to the Zebec main page before we shut it down. It's weird. Why is it so hard to see if these guys are saying anything real quick? Yeah, that'd be my only knock. I thought it was going to be, there was going to be questions, actually live questions. And that was kind of weird, kind of not happy about that. What is this? Martin the investor has delayed all his negative posts and videos that he made about you. We know he was going to do that. I told you guys, right? If it's down, all of a sudden everybody hates it. Of course he would, right? He can't. Now when it starts to pump, he don't want to be the only one that's like, oh man, we guys are you guys are right, right. Of course, you're probably gonna see a lot of people deleting all these comments. Once it started pumping, everybody got brand new, right? You listen to the futters and they thought it was gonna go to zero. I'm telling you, man, these guys, these guys DM me every single day. As soon as Zebec started going down, I got two people, especially. There's more than two, but I got two main ones every single day, every single drop, these guys are emailing me. What are you going to do now? Why are you talking about ZBEC? What happens with ZBEC? What's going on? You're going to lose all your money. You're going to be broke every single, I don't think you guys feel me, every single day, which is part of being a content creator, guys. People are going to be mad and people are going to crazy fudge you. I'm like, oh man, I invested my life savings. I listened to you, and now I'm broke. What am I going to do? So I'm telling this guy, just be patient, bro. Just calm down. Just be patient. And of course, it's pumping, right? Haven't heard anything from him. Thank God. Thank God ZBIC started pumping because we are back live, bro. And like this Martin guy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he did. Yeah, right, Josh. He didn't even invest in it anyway. I don't even know what the problem is, and I don't even know why they're even entertaining this clown. He doesn't even own Zebec. And the weird thing is, unless I missed something, he didn't say nothing about not owning it until the price crashed. Then all of a sudden, I don't even own Zebec. I'm not even in Zebec. Like, really, bro? What's really going on? Look how stable the price action is. I know, but we knew, like I was telling the futters all week since last week, since the price going down. Now is the best time to get in. And they're like, but the price is down. It's not going to come back up. It's going to, somebody was like, it's going to go down to 0015. Like, bro, it's not going to go past. I stopped, it went down to 0022. I think the lowest one was like 22 or 24, somewhere in there. And I was telling the guys, it's not going to stay down long. Even if it goes down to 00 something, 1815, it ain't going to stay down there long, right? There's too much going on. The announcement about Parliament came out. Plus, they have the AMA today. It's going to bounce back, right? Quarter Crawler, what up? Dance with who brought you to the party. Patience is kings. You're right there. You got to be patient. Even Warren Buffett said that. Wealth comes to those who are patient from the impatient who sell. And this guy Martin got the freaking quote wrong. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Talking about Buffett says he doesn't DCA. Dude, you're lying. You're lying. I've seen every single Warren Buffett quote. And one of his quotes is to DCA in. Once you get a good amount, instead of spending all your money, you gradually keep buying the stock or crypto. You dollar cost average in as the price goes down. It doesn't make sense to blow all your money and then the price drop, right? It's bad economics. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? But I don't want to keep concentrating on this guy. Sorry, brother. I meant Robert Misnick. Simon confirmed they are friends and were classmates, head of digital assets for BlackRock. Talking about having a powerful friend, man. I was saying this weeks ago on my channel. Just stay the course. Josh, the winner, you got a channel? What up? Why haven't you invited us to the channel? Let me see, Josh. I think I actually have seen your channel. But let's see. You're right, bro. Stay the course. The lowest it went was 21. Okay. I thought it was somewhere in the 20s. He wrote last week that he's putting 100K to support Zebec. I have a screenshot if you want. Yeah, please send it. Send it over to the X account because I want to see that. Because he's always showing that 200 and whatever, but there's nobody there. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Why are you pushing this 200K? You're not even freaking investing in it. And you didn't even buy Zebec. And the worst part is you could have bought Zebec when it was down instead of funding it. So that's weird. That's super weird. I do a lot of short format content. No worries, bro. I'm definitely gonna look you up. Hmm. But let me know what you guys think in the comments as well. And what else you got? He'd probably use margins to fill it. Maybe. But we are up 38.8% on the day, up 40%. So it looks like whatever happened in the meeting went well. Let me know in the comments before we shut it down. How do you think the meeting went? And what do you think will come from the meeting tomorrow, which I'm mad is going to be a closed session. But I've noticed when they talk to these guys, mainly government entities, they never tell you what they're talking about, right? There's never a full-on live stream or actual what is that? Actual step live, right? They always tell you what happened after. They never go ahead and let you see. I guess they don't want you guys to, or they don't want us to hear how they're being told, what they're being told, or how they're being talked to. And you're right. I have not seen our favorite futter say anything today. But let me know in the comments. He brags all the time about using 5K account and turned it into 250, but also didn't mention the fact that he used more margins to fill most of his orders. That's weird. But he didn't tell us what he invested in either, right? I didn't really watch him. I only started watching him because he was doing those. Not gonna fud him, but he was doing those songs for Zebec, and I was like, "Bro, you're singing on top of already beats, right?" I'm not sure why the record labels haven't sued you for using copyrighted material, but that's here nor there. I'm going to try to go back and watch the meeting again because I missed most of it. Hey, right. I'm going to go back and re-listen to it and take some notes because I was actually doing more than one thing when I was listening. So I heard most of it, but not everything. But I was just more concerned about the price action. And it looks like you came out pretty good, right? Although this is not updating because what is this? Yeah, this guy says 39%. This guy says 40%. And this still says, I guess it did update to 39%. And you can see here, I'm not sure if I got the fib levels right. We're at the 0035, which is roughly at 0041. And as Josh mentioned, I got in at 0025 and it went down to 221, I think. I'm not gonna fud him. Good man. Would he do the same? Actually, you're right. He's probably fudding me now. BTM jerk is up here talking about me and how bad the songs are. Why don't you make your own songs? I was like, bro, I don't know, but the song is terrible. I'm just gonna put that out there. Fud or no fud, that song is bad, right? 'Cause I was like, oh, this is cool. He made a Zebec song, and I listened to it like, bro, you could have kept this. You could have kept this and threw it in the trash can. The song ain't even. If it is cool, it ain't even something that I would actually be promoting, right? Maybe in the UK it's hype, but this is America. You know what I'm saying? That song was crap, bro. But I don't want to well, there it is. Thanks. Oh my gosh. Abaloo Baba Networks proof I can't move your market. Also, Zebec investors called into the live show. See our discussion at an hour 45. You sold it. Just buy it now if you see value. About 140K to see if I can move. Bro, please. Not time for this. This guy, man. Next major fib is sitting at 40. Where is 40 at? Talking about that 004? Bro, I don't have the possibility to send you a DM. So I responded to your post. Take a look. Thank you, Abaloo. Yes, 21. Up early. What up? Yeah, Zame. Let me see. Josh, let me know if this fib levels are right. Is this where it's supposed to be? Because I haven't been actually getting it correct. I've just been moving it up and down. Trying to line them up. So let me see. What was I about to check? Oh yeah. See if that's why. And Abba, Abolu, Abba. Yeah, I just added you, so you can probably direct message you now. Nice cars, bro. Is that a McLaren? That is nice. Rico Clean, what up with you, bro? Let it be. All right, I'll keep it moving, bro. I don't want to waste time with these guys going nowhere. Check the price one more time of 40.3. Holders, we'll get the holder number real quick. Holder count is now at uh, what is this? 74,374. So we're up. We're up. You said the 04? 041. 004. This is 004. Dollar cost average. Thank you, quarter crawler. Well, I guess we'll shut it down and then pick it back up at the same channel, which is the BTM Crypto News Network at 3:30. Let me do some updates and see what we can see. Thanks for joining. Thanks for super chat. Thanks for you guys keeping the BTM Crypto News Network alive. Appreciate you. I love you guys. And big shout out to Zebec Network and 56K tuned into the AMA. Let's go. And go, you guys have a good hump day. And as always, let's get back to the money. He is not normal. I mean, he is not normal. Yeah, something's wrong. That guy's probably an industry plant. I'm not even sure what industry plant means. But if there is an industry plant, he's probably an industry plant. Just bought more Zebec. Okay, quarter crawler. You might be right. I wanted to pick it up as things continue to push. But as always, it's okay to be different or out of the norm because maybe you're normal and everybody else isn't. And continue to pray for our folks in Central Texas that got flooded out and rained out, guys. It's pretty bad out there. I'm in North Texas and Central Texas got hit hard. So pray for those guys. And as always, let's get back to the money and stay dangerous. Miner out. Why are you not covering turbo? I just did a turbo video yesterday. What are you guys talking about? But I'll do a turbo live today, guys. So tune in. Get with it or get left behind. Yeah, S-type. I'll do a video today. I'll go live. Actually, probably around noon. So we'll see. But nobody tunes into the live, man. But I'll go live today. We'll see if you guys are there. Peace out. And see you when I see you. Miner out.